Hi and welcome back to the Nerd Shelves. I'm Judy.
And I'm Michael.
Today we're going to talk about 3 things we love.
3 things we love about the Lost Ruins of Arnak.
It's such a big box.
It is such a big box.
So we're going to talk about 3 things we love. Let's get to it.
Okay, the Lost Ruins of Arnak, the 3 things we love. Before we get started, if you haven't done so already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to be notified when we post more fun stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every week. Okay.
Every week.
So, do you want to go first?
Do I want to go first? Sure.
Go ahead.
Okay, I get to go first. Okay, so we are going to start with number
3.
3, the card row at the top of the page. It might be on Judy's list. We'll see.
Okay.
So this is a deck building game.
Yeah.
So cards are essential. And like any deck building game, you have your basic cards that you start with, and you shuffle them, and you start with 5, and you play them, and then you're trying to add better cards to your deck and get rid of your filler cards and things like that. That's very basic. It's like every deck building game. But the way you get cards of this is at the top of the board, there is a card row. And this is so cool. In the card row, in between every single card at the top is a moon phase. And it goes from 1 to 5. And that is also the round tracker.
Yeah.
So you have a moon staff, and how it works is the staff is cupped and the moon sits in it, and then the staff goes in between the 2 cards.
Yeah.
Everything to the left of the moon staff comes from the artifact deck. Everything to the right of the moon staff comes from the item deck.
Yeah.
Artifacts are more powerful and give you better actions, and the items are cards that just help you gain resources and smaller actions like that. I know this isn't really part of my number 3, but just to give it a bit more context, all the cards in the deck have, at the top of the card, there are either a boot, a car, a boat, or an airplane, and that's how you move your explorers through the board. You can either play them for your movement action at the top, or you can use them for the action on the card. So to start the game, as you can imagine, as the moon staff moves up the rounds, you get less items to choose from.
But more artifacts.
But you get more artifacts to choose from as the game goes on. Now, if you buy an item, you simply pay for it, which is usually in gold.
Yeah, and use the coin.
Yeah, and you just put it on the bottom of your deck, and then it'll probably come up in the next round or whatever.
Yeah.
But the artifacts, they're more powerful. So you have to pay for the card.
You pay with a compass.
With compass tokens, right? Compass is like time and your time spent researching and exploring. And that's thematically, that makes sense, right?
Yes.
You're exploring through the jungle and you find artifacts.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when those cards are in your deck and they come up, like all cards in this game, you can either use them for the top value, which is just for traveling around the board, or the action, the main action on the card. But all artifacts, you have to pay with tablets.
Yeah.
But here's the cool part. Artifacts, they don't go to the bottom of your deck when you buy them. You can actually use it right away, and you don't have to pay the tablet cost to use it the first time.
For the first time, yeah.
So it made my decision very different because sometimes I only wanted to use it once.
Yeah.
I didn't care if it went into my deck, but I wanted it now. So I bought it so I could use it right now. And I thought that was really, really cool. Thematically, it's awesome. It makes sense. It's just such a cool way to get cards into your deck for a deck builder.
Yeah.
Anyways, so my number 3 is the card row.
Okay.
And I think it's so cool because it's your round tracker and it's your card row and it's your shop and it's just, very cool. Very cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So my 3rd part is discover new sites.
Oh, discovering new sites.
Which is the main part of the player board.
Yeah, it's the big part in the middle.
It is so cool. So I have to look at my cheat sheet because I wrote it down.
There's a lot going on with them for
sure,
yeah.
So to start a game, everyone get 5 cards in their hand.
Yes.
And like you said, the top left corner, there are those travel icons, the aircraft, the vehicle, the boat, the boot. You play the card with those icons,
Yep.
and then you place your meeples.
They look like Indiana Jones.
guy, but we cannot call it because
No.
I don't know his name.
Yeah.
So there are 3 areas you can go.
Yeah.
To start, there are easy ones. There are 5 sites, 5 locations.
Yeah.
Let's say location.
Yeah.
They're simple. Just put boots, place your meeple, get resource.
Yeah.
Easy.
That one, those are the bottom ones. That's not discovering new sites. That's
No,
just digging
already
in a
there.
site that's already there.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's even small
Yeah.
tent.
Yeah, a little
picture
tent
on
because it
yeah.
means it's already been discovered. You can
Yeah.
just go there to dig.
Easy. So the middle part, you can see at the bottom there is 1 keyhole, and you have to pay 3 compasses.
Right, which equals
go
you,
there.
because it means you're spending more time.
Yes.
There. Yeah.
So you go there, you get to take 1 idle tile, and
Yeah.
you right away resolve the effect. And then you dig that side with the card, you flip over,
Yeah.
put it on that side.
Yeah.
This is so cool. It's so thematic because
Yeah.
you digging, you wake up the guardian.
The guardian of the
They
site.
are very strange creature, but they're so cool. The
Yeah.
artwork is amazing.
Yeah.
But anyways, you awaken the guardian, and
Yeah.
now you have to put the guardian on top of that.
Yeah.
When you dig the side, you get the resources on top.
Yeah.
But now you put a guardian on it. Those are resources shown.
Yeah.
You have to overcome the guardian with those resources. If you cannot, at the end of the round,
Yeah.
you have a fear card,
Yeah, you
which
get-
is minus points.
And it fills your deck with its bloat, right?
It's something
it fills,
you don't
yeah,
want.
Exactly.
And those are so cool. So there are 8 of them for the deck with 1 keyhole, which you pay 3 compasses. And
Yeah.
there are 4 advanced
above
one,
that advanced one.
which is 2 keyhole, which is give you more resources once you dig it.
Yeah.
But you have to pay 6 compasses.
because they're further away and you spend more time exploring.
Yeah, but the same guardian deck. So
Yeah.
you just flip
Yeah.
and then you have to overcome and then to get that.
So cool.
It is so cool. So when you go to that dig inside, the idle token is really cool too because you put it on your player board
Yeah.
and you can get resources
Yeah.
by cover up the idle slots. There are
Yeah.
4 of them.
Like when you first receive an idol, it just goes on your player board. They've got these crates and you just put them on your crates
Yeah.
like you're just holding them.
Yeah. And then on top there are 4 slots that give you in-game points.
Yeah.
Like 1 point, 2 points, 3 and 4.
Yeah.
But you can use those tokens to
Cover one up.
occupy the
Yeah.
spot and then get the resource
Yeah.
at the side.
Yeah. So much going on, right?
Yeah. But that is so
Yeah,
cool.
that whole thing is so cool. But the one thing you didn't mention with the Guardians is when you do overcome them, you don't kill them.
Yeah, they become your pets.
They become your friends. It says in the rules that because you've
Yeah.
paid the resources,
Yeah.
they respect you, and then they go beside your board and you get victory points for them.
Which is
And
a lot of victory
yeah,
points.
5
like
for each one.
points.
Yeah. Oh.
So they're
so good.
they're actually not bad. They might look scary, but they're protecting the site, right?
Yeah, they're the
so
guardians of
if you
that
overcome
site.
them, they become your friend.
Exactly. They respect
Yeah.
you. Yeah, and they even help you. They give you a little bonus that you can use once in the game.
But that's my
so good.
third one.
That's great. That's a really good one. That's your number 3. Wow, I can't believe what the rest of them are. Okay. My number 2. Go to number 2.
Number 2.
Number 2. My number 2 is... This could be number 1 because I think this is the main part of the game, but it's not my favorite part of the game. The research track.
Right. Okay.
And I think this is the most important part of the game because I think this is where you get the most victory points. So, and again, the theme matches so well. So on the side of the board, you have a research track that goes all the way up through the jungle, basically, on the side of the board. And at the bottom, you have 2 things. You have a magnifying glass, which represents you doing the research.
Yeah.
And you have a book, which represents you writing the research down.
Yeah.
You can move your either magnifying glass or book up the research track.
Yeah.
As you're doing research, you're collecting different resources along the way. Every time you move up, you have to pay something
Resources,
to
yeah.
get there.
Yeah.
There's different resources you have to pay to move up to the next spot. And the really neat thing is, thematically, you can move your magnifying glass
Yeah.
or your book. but you can never move your book past your magnifying glass because thematically, you can't write in your book something you haven't researched yet.
Yeah, so research first and then write it down.
And then write it down in your book. And you keep going up the track, and every track you get different resources, including assistants you can collect that come to your board and help you. And at the end of the game, wherever you are, on both of them on whichever level you are on, they're worth victory points. But if you do enough research and you've learned enough about the ancient myths and all of that, when you get to the top of the track, you discover the Temple of Arnak.
Yeah, the lost temples.
And the first person there gets to move into a slot that gives them the most points, the next person the second most points.
Yeah.
And then you can start really researching and collecting those stone tablets in the temple, which give you tons of victory points.
That is so cool,
Yeah.
that part.
It's so neat and thematic and fun. It's
And
great.
it's so amazing.
Yeah. So that's my number 2 is the research track. What's your number 2?
We're on the same track.
Oh.
Wink, wink.
Haha, we're on the same track. What's your number 2?
It's research track.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Wow, that's neither of our number 1. Crazy. Okay.
it was gonna be my number 1, but
Yeah.
I realized number 1 I really like it so
Okay.
much. It's minor reason, but I really like
Fair
it.
enough.
So, number 2 is the research track.
Yeah.
So, like you say, every time you move up, there are like 2, 3. They have to be connected. The current one and the next one you go into has to be connected.
Yeah.
So there's another one cool thing you didn't mention
Okay.
is that some sites has bonus token. So the first player get to do that, and I never get any because this guy is too fast.
Unless you took a different path.
Yeah. So
Yeah, you're right.
you have to decide which one, which research token to use, right? Because they give you different results at the end as well, at the right side. If you use the research token, at the right side you have to find. So they have 2 results.
Yeah.
One is round, one is square.
Yeah.
Because the notebook is square, so you have to see that
Oh,
as
that's
well
right.
before you move.
Each level gives you a different resource depending on whether it's your magnifying glass or book. Right.
So
Yeah.
that's something you need
Yeah.
to consider as
Yeah.
well, which is really
Yeah.
cool. Because say I
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
the next results from the notebook, but I can't because my magnifying glass is still down below. I need to move that first.
Yeah.
So you cannot really move the notebook ahead.
You
of
can't
time.
go ahead of the magnifying. Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
is so cool. I love that.
Yeah, I didn't mention either of those things, and those are very good points.
So that's
Cool.
my second one. Move fast because you already say most of it. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, no problem.
Number 1.
Okay, you ready? Number 1. Discovering new sites.
Oh, it's so good.
Your number 3 is my number 1. And like I said, I think the research track is the main part of the game.
Okay.
Maybe not the main part, but I think that's
Important.
where... Yeah, the most important. That's where you're going to get the most points. And I think if you don't do the research track, you can't win. However, the discovering the new sites to me is the most... It's the funnest part of the whole game.
Yeah.
It is so fun.
Yeah,
It's,
I agree.
And so, I mean, the whole thing is very thematic and it makes sense. But I love that how we said on your cards you have either boots, cars, boats, or airplanes.
Yeah.
And the further you go into the jungle, or the different path, if you look at the board, if it's on the water or in the
Yeah.
jungle, you need different cards to be able to travel there.
Yeah.
And then you need the further in you go into the jungle, the more compasses you have to pay because it represents the time that you're spending exploring.
Yeah.
And then just you don't know what the new site's going to be. It is really like exploring.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what that site's going to be because you haven't flipped it over yet.
Yeah.
And then a guardian comes on and you don't know what guardian it's going to be and there's these crazy like I don't know, giant
Yeah.
centipedes and just weird creatures and it's so fun.
So good.
It's so good. I love it.
And the art they did, it just matches the
Yeah.
theme and the
Yeah.
card,
Yeah.
individual
Yeah.
card. It's just so
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
I love it.
So if somebody said to me, what do you think should be in a game about like an Indiana Jones type adventure game? This is exactly it. I want a game where I feel like I'm researching and learning.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm exploring and discovering new artifacts and items. And this is exactly how it feels to me.
This is exactly it,
I think
yeah.
that is awesome. Is it the most complicated, complex game with the best mechanics I've ever played? No. But
Yeah.
it's so fun.
Yeah.
Like it just grabbed me. All of those things, it just grabbed me,
Yeah.
and I love it. Anyways,
Yeah.
so that's my number 1 is what your number 3 was, which
Yeah.
is odd, but okay. I think I know what your number 1's gonna be, but
You do.
yeah, what is it?
Are you sure?
Yes,
Okay.
number 1.
Number 1
Maybe she doesn't know.
is the buying card phase.
Yes,
It's your
card
number
row.
3.
The card row. That's what I thought. I knew as soon as we learned that rule in the game. You're like, that is so cool. I knew it because you loved it.
Drop my jaw.
Yeah.
Okay,
Cool.
so the main reason I love it
Yeah.
is how the rules say how you buy the car, right? So
Yeah.
there's artifact at the left side, item at the right side. So you move the moon staff
Yeah.
one space to the right, and then there's more artifact, less item.
Yeah.
And you pay with different stuff too. You pay with compass for the artifact
Yeah.
and pay coin for the items.
Makes sense.
It makes sense.
You buy items with gold and
Yeah.
you find basically
You find artifact with time because you have to research. That is so cool. I just love how they design a moon staff. See, if that would be a stick, it's like, right? But the fact that it's a moon staff, I know it's just one little thing, but it made me so happy to see the moon staff and there is a round turn on top
with the
representing
phases
moon.
of the moon until it
It's
gets
a little
full.
thing, but made me so happy to
Yeah.
see that. Now,
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? How these just adding these little touches just
Yeah.
makes it
perfect.
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing you did not mention that I really enjoy about
Okay.
that part
Yeah.
is to set up the next round.
Yeah.
Okay, so you finish a round, and then to set up for the next round, you have to exile the 2 cards next to the moon staff.
Exile means basically just get rid of them
Get
out
rid
of
of
the
it.
game.
So it's so cool because when you are planning to do something, you want to buy those cards, but you know at the end of a round, you have to exile those 2, so it'll be gone.
Yeah.
So you need to hurry up.
You might lose the cards. Yeah.
Because they don't just move on.
Yeah.
They exile those
That's
2
right.
next to it, and then they refill and then move on. Right?
It's the way of refreshing and going through the deck better,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
If they didn't have to get rid of those 2 cards,
yeah.
I wouldn't like it that much. It would just be like any other game.
Yeah.
But the fact that you have to remove
Absolutely.
those and then refill, woohoo! It's so
It is
good.
neat, and you're right. It makes you think, oh, I have to get that before it's gone. But what it also does is if there's a point where it's like, oh, we don't really want any of those cards.
Yeah,
We don't want them to just sit there for the rest of the game. It's a way of getting rid of them, right?
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's
Only
the-
5 rounds.
I know it's only 5 rounds. It's fast.
Yeah.
I remember when we were playing and we were kind of just getting into it, and then all of a sudden, oh, there's only 2 rounds left. We need to get going here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay. So the core mechanic of the deck builder, it's like any deck builder. There's nothing new here. And I know, and I have friends even who just say, I don't want to play any more deck builders. Like, I've played too many deck builders. I have too many, right? And it's true. This is just a regular deck builder.
Yeah.
But I think there's enough other things in this game, like the way you get your cards is different.
Very different.
And how you use your cards with the, their dual action, right? They can just
Yeah.
be used for movement or for the action. I think all of that, to me, it didn't, how do I say it? While the core mechanic is just a deck builder like every other deck builder, it didn't feel like just a regular deck builder.
Yeah, because you're doing a lot of every other stuff too.
Yeah, yeah. It was just because the deck building part wasn't as important. In some deck builders, building your deck is the most important thing. This wasn't
Yeah.
at all.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't really matter that much what was in my hand because it was all just about moving and exploring on the board. All of the actions and all of the
Yeah.
important stuff happened on the board, not in your deck.
Yeah.
Loved it. Good game. I mean, okay. Full disclosure here. We haven't played this that much. There may come a
Yeah.
point when we've played it 5, 6, 7, 8 times where we're like, okay,
Eh.
I'm done. But right now,
Yeah.
it's exciting.
Yeah.
And I will also say, full disclosure, again, that the reason why it's so exciting for me is because I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan. Like ever since I was a kid, I just love exploration, right?
Yeah.
And this made me feel like I was exploring.
Yeah, it's very thematic.
Gosh,
very cool.
the
Well
artwork.
designed. And the component, I have to say, wow.
Wowee. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it.
Great game. Fantastic. But maybe we should just end it there. What do you think?
So that's top 3 we love about Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Yeah.
What's yours?
What are yours?
Let us know. Leave a comment. All right?
All right.
Until next time,
Go ahead and get another game off of your nerd shelves.
take care.
Bye.
Bye now.
The law out.
Sorry.